Evidently, the feeling was mutual. Corinne laid her big-ass eyes on me and gave them a dramatic roll. I took off for the hospital entrance without another word. Tonight wasn't the night to get caught up in some irrelevant beef while Quade was fighting for his life. Cash and Gia flanked me, placing the perfect amount of space between us. Zeus caught up with little trouble, beating me to the front desk with only a few strides. Beneath his rag-and-bone coat, he wore a pair of sweats with a white tee. On his feet were a pair of cream Yeezys. The always put-together Zeus still looked like $1,000,000, even during an emergency. "My brother, Quade Townsend, was brought in about 3 hours ago. He was in a car accident," Zeus said to the receptionist. Her eyes widened at the mention of the accident. "Take a seat right in the waiting room. I'll have a doctor come speak with you." The waiting room was empty, save for a few people reading magazines or watching the news on the television propped up in the corner. My heart plummeted at the news reporter on the screen, reporting from an intersection. I could see 3 crumpled cars in the background. Zeus saw what I was looking at and made sure to sit me away from the television. "I can't believe this happened," Corinne said, plopping down on the far side of the room. She placed her head in her hands. "Quade might have had some wild ways, but he never drove crazy. He'd never be this reckless, unless someone distracted him and sent him veering into that intersection." Zeus could hear the accusatory tone in Corinne's voice. He chose to ignore it and instead took a seat across from me, whispering, "What happened, Yara?" He called me, and I instantly knew something was wrong. I asked him if he was coming home, and he replied, "Nah, I don't think I'm gonna make it home." I asked him what was wrong, but he said none of it was important. That was it. "What the fuck happened before that?" Zeus asked, more to himself than us. Hassani and Savion appeared, each wearing a somber expression. I could tell this was taking an unexpected toll on them as well. We all knew Quade had accepted his fate of dying young, but whether we wanted to admit it out loud or not, we all hoped it would never happen. We all sat in a rigid silence with the only noise coming from the television replaying the scene of the car accident. This was its 5th time being played in an hour, and I could tell that it was irritating one of the Townsend brothers more than the others. "They gotta keep playing this shit on a continuous loop?" Savion asked, shooting the television a wicked glare. He stared at the television for a second and let out a simple, "Huh. Why the fuck I ain't think of that an hour ago?" Savion rose from his seat and approached the flat-screen television with furrowed brows. After another minute of staring, he reached behind the television and pressed multiple buttons, shooting the volume up, sending it back down, poking and pressing until he was finally able to change the channel. The sound of sucking teeth filled the room. All 7 of our heads snapped in the direction of the culprit, a woman who sat with her husband on the far side of the room. "Is there a fucking problem?" Savion asked, crossing his arms. "We were watching that," the woman barked back as she slid to the edge of her seat. "Who the fuck made you the TV monitor?" Savion pointed to the television and replied, "You lucky I didn't turn it the fuck off. Now sit back and watch these fucking cartoons before you end up in the emergency room your damn self." The woman opened her mouth to argue once again, except this time her husband stopped her. "Don't talk to my wife like that." "Fuck your wife. Who the hell you think you talking to?" The woman hopped out of her seat, which prompted a quick response from Cash, who was waiting for something to pop off. "Bitch, I wish you would try to jump my man," she shouted, coming up behind Savion with her sleeves rolled up. Zeus jumped up and placed himself between the two.